Hello everyone and welcome to Game 5 of our Best of 5 series between Cubit and Pbhead for the second Offworld Tournament Finals. This one gonna finally be the decider after PB takes the first two and Cubit comes right back for 2 wins in games 3 and 4. Another map, PB not getting to really play his scavenger this series at all, just none of these maps providing a whole lot of carbon. But it looks like there is a lot of iron available, and we'll just have to see what these two can manage to accomplish with the other 3 colonies.
Yep, looks like there are 2 iron spots for 2 players.
Yeah.
I definitely expect that's where people will be found. Although there is that medium carbon up north with another carbon. You could make that work. I did this before once where I went to 4 carbon tiles and then transitioned 2 of them back to something else later. It is doable, but
it can work. It's just so awkward though.
Yeah, I mean, I love that one. I love that iron spot. I'm surprised no one's done it already. That scientific spot in the south, because you're right by all that water. Whoa. Pbhead goes to the other one.
Cubit founding robotic.
Start manufacturing cubes.
All right. Let's see what happens now. This is an interesting play out of Cubit. I don't think robotic is as bad as most people think it is.
Yep.
But personally, I favor science. Look at this, both players immediately purchasing aluminum. I think Pbhead hit it first, but...
Who's going to get that one high aluminum? There's one high aluminum way at the top of the map. It's funny, I'm just surprised Cubit didn't go scientific. He's by all that water. And boy, there's not a lot of water left on this map either.
You're surprised? I thought scientific was weak and needed some buffs. I mean, come on.
Well, it's a good scientific spot straight up, right? Oh, okay. Like, what else do you want? A big clump of iron and a big clump of water?
I actually wouldn't have founded any colony down there, though, is the thing.
Is it so far from everything else?
It's so far from everything else. You're right up against the edge of the map. He does not have room for all of his adjacency bonuses that he might want potentially.
Silicon is going to be a problem. I expect we're going to see some ice condensers. I actually, now the more time I think about it, really think someone should have gone scavenger in the ice fields, buy those carbons. You buy the aluminum. You're going to have all the water you need. Water is very scarce on this map, and frankly, all the silicon's up in the ice too. I think that's the right place to found.
I love watching how far away this aluminum is.
Fuel is going to be crazy on this map.
Remember, one of them's robotic this game, so power is going to be a bit of a mess this one.
If he just gets enough power, he'll be fine.
Cold fusion, though. And PB's going to take it.
Cold fusion.
Cold fusion. Wow. Oh, man. PB, he pulled one of my moves that game. He saw an auction come up. He wanted some extra thinking time. He just takes that initial bid. Oh, PB. All right, let's see what happens. For now, it's a benefit. For now, it's good.
Yeah, he better get some ice condensers, because that's the worst thing about this map. There's hardly any water
anywhere.
Oh my gosh!
There's no water anywhere.
What, if you're Cubit, do you go for hacker ray at this point and just start driving up the price of water?
I would. HQ level 3 hacker ray. Sure, why not?
He's got all the water next to him. Just claim that water, start hacking water.
Something I love this game right now, by the way. It's a small thing, especially with the recent robotic buff where they don't consume so many electronics anymore. Pbhead's just keeping all of his spare money in electronics right now. Just driving that price up. Just like, a little more.
It's like an investment. It's a long-term derivative, is that right? Or future? He's buying the future in electronics, sort of.
Well, and it's also just for the time being. Cubit still has to keep consuming it, and so if Pbhead just kind of keeps putting money into it, keeps buying up those electronics, it'll drive that price up, and Cubit just gets a bit more debt.
Yep.
Every moment as that happens.
Pbhead grabbed those 2 waters, 2 low waters. I would think I would totally crumble if I was Cubit right now. I'm sorry, if I was Pbhead right now, because he's got to be just terrified of power.
Absolutely.
And even with those 2 low waters, like, he's not going to have enough to supply his food and oxygen and fuel. Like, it's so ironic, you know, Cubit went for robotic, and almost the worst thing that could have happened for Pbhead happened, in that he accidentally got cold fusion.
He accidentally got cold fusion.
I should mention that in Beta 4, water engine and cold fusion will be changing so that the game will automatically switch to buy the least expensive resource, whether it's energy or water.
Underground nuke. I love it. Underground nuke out of Cubit. On water.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
Brilliant play.
It's fantastic.
Of course, it's not quite so bad. He can switch those to ice. In fact, if you got a triangle of ice, he'd probably be making more than he was making with the 2 low waters. But I still like the idea. I still like the idea there.
Yeah.
And of course, he's scientific, so he can also just transition those to farms or whatever. But still, pretty interesting play. I don't know. Pbhead's in a bad place, but I don't necessarily see Cubit starting to take advantage of it right now.
Cubit did hit HQ level 3 first. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something. I mean, he is robotic, right? He'd better be hitting HQs first.
And the medium water went up for auction.
Oh,
so
wow.
how much did Cubit bid on this? This is going to go for a lot.
This is going to go for a lot more than we usually see a medium water auction go for, that's for
I
sure.
could see this hit 40,000. Both of them have pretty good stock prices.
This is ridiculous, though.
I would
32,000.
bid. I would bid if I was Cubit.
I probably would too, but that's how I lose myself games sometimes. I love this also, by the way. Pbhead has made a tile claim right next to Cubit's HQ on water, which is going to put Cubit into even more of an awkward spot trying to get adjacency bonuses going and trying to get his buildings set up the way he wants to. I absolutely love that out of PB. That's such a PB play. It's just so aggressive against your opponent. As aggressive as you can get in a game like Offworld Trading.
I'm not surprised he went for that. I was actually just thinking of mentioning that before he grabbed it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's going to be desperate for water. He's just got to get those tiles.
Still, though, that's just hilarious to me.
I mean, the main thing here is Pbhead has to figure out a way to make cold fusion work for him. Like there are good things about cold fusion if you can get at the water. So, and right now,
it's working just fine, right?
So far, it's been a net benefit for Pbhead. Like we keep talking about the bad position he's in, but he's only in a bad position if Cubit figures out a way to take advantage of it.
Yeah. I also want to point out, Cubit's consuming like an extra, I want to say, oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. Interesting little power surge by PB. Sorry, distracted me. Cubit's consuming a lot of extra power from these freighters being so far away. I think an entire power a second right now. And we haven't even seen his silicon get established yet. So that's going to be, what, 2 power a second away from Cubit? And he just doesn't have the power online to stop his debt from creeping up so high.
So that's the other interesting thing about this, because one of the great things about cold fusion is Pbhead will, and especially getting it early, Pbhead will never have to build power this whole game if he doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can switch to it at any point if he just wants to take advantage of the price, but that does essentially give him 2 or 3 claims to work with that he wouldn't have normally. Whereas at the same time, because Cubit is robotic, he needs not necessarily twice as much power, but a lot more power than a player normally would have. So, where I said Cubit should be working to drive up the price of water, Pbhead should be working to drive up the price of power, which is, so you saw he actually, power surged the solar panels, even though he knew he was going to hit himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Still a strong power surge, I think, for sure.
Cubit smartly grabbed the other water that was nearby him, he just got to grab those tiles if he can.
That mutiny, that's hilarious.
A crazy game. It's really hard to predict what's going to happen here. The thing Pbhead does have is he has the more simple, like he just has some buildings that are making him money right now. He has some reactors that are making him money. He has some glass furnaces that are making him money. There's a lot of craziness going on, but there's a lot to be said just for that.
It is important to remember. Here's that downside of nuking that scientific player. His reactors still online, making plenty of money despite the high water prices. 2 center reactors in the diamond here. Because it still has trace water under it. And interestingly enough, PB has gone for a patent lab. I almost expect slant drilling to be coming out here. But we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely slant drilling. Definitely, absolutely. If he can get a triangle for glass, all those reactors he can turn back on, for sure, slant drilling.
Also interesting to note,
and then just go water engine too. What the heck?
Both of these players still sending aluminum. You can tell they're it feels like they got a bit of a case of the nerves going on right now.
$2 aluminum. Yeah, you should shut them off. The only thing danger about that is you eventually forget to shut them back on.
Yeah, but oh man, still $1 aluminum getting sent across the map at the cost of like 10 power a piece or something insane like that for Cubit, or 1 power a piece for Cubit.
I count 10 aluminum blimps easily on the map right now.
Yeah, exactly. He had 10 aluminum blimps going at any given time. A whole 1 power a second in order to send aluminum.
Pbhead took advantage of that mutiny of his water by going ahead and taking that chance to EMP all those spots, knocking out Cubit's power again. Cube power is now 240. Cubit's got to build some other power. He had those steel mills off for quite a while. Okay, he is building more solar panels.
Yeah, got more solar panels finally. Solar panels were going to be awkward, though, because silicon's been kind of expensive this whole time, and pirates have actually gone over in favor of PB. sealing up that silicon, which is a very nice move with these solar panels getting constructed. I like it. All right. It is going to be slant drilling, by the way. 30 more seconds until PB goes ahead and grabs that. That'll allow him to just kind of rely on his medium water for a long time, I think, if he needs to commit to more water tiles.
Yeah, I would just go ahead and goon squad that medium water right away if you could, because then if water ever gets out of control, he always has the option to, put some water pumps next to it.
Okay, he has grabbed a goon squad. I'd almost expect that to go on his patent lab still, but it could hit the water as well.
Yeah, I'd hit the water. I mean, he's almost got slant drilling. I don't really care about picking the patent lab. It gets destroyed, you rebuild it, whatever.
Yeah, that's usually my thought, but a lot of people like to attack the patent lab, and so you can catch some nice black market.
You know they're going to attack it, but I don't see Cubit necessarily doing that. Cubit's level 5. I was just about to mention it, but of course now Pbhead is as well. Cubit does take a big advantage of the fact you don't need glass, so he upgraded quickly. But now, of course, he needs the glass, and there's a shortage. He needs the glass, he needs electronics, he needs to get Offworld.
Yeah, of course.
Price is Offworld. Food is not great. Oxygen is $671 Offworld.
Man, again, really, really nice Offworlds. This is really playing in Cubit's favor, I think. Almost every game I see Cubit play, he has one thing that he does. I never see him vary from it, which is go for the Offworld. And if he can do it, if he can make it work, he can win the game. But if it falls off, Cubit has a lot of trouble recovering from that. So it's very fortunate for Cubit this series that the Offworld has proven so valuable time and time again. Really making a big difference here.
He's built 3 electronics, but it's net sum, it's only making 1 electronics a second. That's a long way to go when he doesn't have any glass either.
Yeah, so hard to actually make electronics as a robotic player. A lot easier these days.
Yeah,
well,
he almost has enough steel. I would almost like to see him delete those steel mills, convert them into glass.
Well, I think the steel, I wouldn't be surprised if the steel just stays online. Cubit really likes to go for the 2 Offworlds.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see what happens. More glass coming down for PB, interestingly enough. His reactors are all making good money despite water's price, which is very nice for him.
I expect to see that triangle. The glass triangle makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not true. Take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. And also got Chem Labs down right now for Pbhead. Very nice
Takes advantage of the fact that, he created triangles where they didn't exist before.
Yep.
And I assume he got nanotech and then just deleted his... Did he even bother with nanotech?
He got nothing. Yeah, he didn't even bother with nanotech. He just deleted the...
Be interesting to know,
especially
considering how the role nanotech played in the last game, but he did not go for that. Okay, he is going to glass furnaces, and like you said earlier, he is stuck in the corner there, so he's not going to be able to get a glass triangle up.
Solar panels still being a big deal for Cubit though this game. Power's never really fallen off, and so Cubit's been paying off a lot of debt with that. He still has a long way to go.
Yeah, Cubit's Pbhead's a 225k debt.
No big surprise. He's not forced to pay it down, so he doesn't.
He hasn't been building any food the whole game, and at some point I expect to see Pbhead start building food. I mean, the price is just too good. Although that water price is great also. Yeah.
What I really don't like out of Pbhead this game though is going to be those electronics factories. They aren't doing anything for him right now.
Yep. As I expected, he did try to nuke that medium water, and it was protected by a good squad. It is open now, and Pbhead did buy another underground nuke to drive the price up. But Cubit could make a huge play right now if he got to $9,000, bought that underground nuke, and got rid of that medium water. Because those buildings are each making $200.
Well, it'll still stay low, so you can't completely get rid of it.
Scientific.
I know. Scientific's a good colony.
Yeah, he's getting $600 a second from those waters. And here goes his off-world market. Pbhead gets the off-world market up before Cubit. A lot of that probably has to do off the money he's making from water.
Water making him ridiculous
which you probably did not anticipate going into quite so strongly before this game began.
Yeah. I think I would love to see a transition into food from PB before too long if he can pull it off, but it's not that big a deal if he doesn't. Because here's the really good thing I love about PB right now. This is exactly a kind of PB move we've been seeing all tournament. PB's sitting on 360 carbon right now. 347, but still. Very high amount of carbon being stored up by PB. Because Cubit, well, he never committed to a patent lab, and he only committed to 1 carbon tile. So you can drive that carbon price up. It raises that electronics, the difficulty in making electronics.
Why doesn't he hack carbon? He can make a killing off of that.
Ooh, underground
nuke. We just saw a nuke on the
onto
Cubit's low. Was that low or medium?
I believe that was low. Because now it's trace.
Yeah. Get that hacker ray up.
Whoa. Big deal right here, actually.
Wow.
Big deal.
Wow. Yeah, this could be a huge game changer for Cubit.
I do want to point out, while we wait for this
He is
patent to
building the
play
Offworld
out,
market.
yeah, he's got the off-world market constructing, but I think it was badly misplaced.
Yeah,
right now.
why is it on? Was he thinking he was going to get thinking machines or
I
something?
think it's horribly misplaced, because even if he's getting thinking machines, you can put it to the tile to the southeast of it, right? That hex down there.
Yeah,
you're
for
still
sure.
adjacent to the colony, you're not on top of iron, and you're not disrupting your solar panel triangle. So I think a big mistake out of Cubit there. That might cost him in the long run. Pbhead,
Yeah,
your
really
stock
could.
price is so low. Again,
Yeah,
he's going for the kill again, but this time I think there's a huge difference, which is the fact that he already has that off-world established. And so Pbhead, I think, has a really nice lead going this game. I would love to see a transition into food instead of steel. I think that's a really important move that PB could go ahead and make, because water's price has finally come down to a far more reasonable $23, but oh wow, that is a natural carbon short. Nobody getting an advantage off of it though. Pbhead has gone ahead and sold down his carbon in
Yeah,
order
he
to
already
purchase
sold
into
it off.
Cubit's stock.
He's
But
not
still,
buying into it.
that's going to hurt Cubit in the long run still. Not
He's-
being able to effectively make electronics is really, really painful for a robotic player.
And shipping oxygen off-world. Oxygen is starting to get to crazy levels. But Pbhead is also the only person, and he's at 100%.
All right, no big surprise there. Pbhead just has to, well, he just needs the time at this point. He could have done it, but finally, we're going to have this series end. Game 5, going over to PB. Don't found robotic, boys.
Well, that was just a weird game.
It was
I
a
don't know.
weird game. I loved the cold fusion, though. Definitely worked in his favor. He made it happen. I think in a 1v1, it's actually the easiest time to pull off the cold fusion.
Yeah.
I know it was
Well,
an accident.
Yeah. If you get cold fusion early, see, that's the thing. You get cold fusion halfway through the game, you already got some.
Exactly,
some
you're already
power down.
established.
And water is scarce on this map, and he just had to go for it. I think Cubit could have done some interesting stuff if he really committed to maybe a hacker array early. Don't build a hacker array, man. The whole series of games.
Yeah, no hacker arrays was really weird. We have seen some of those earlier in the tournament. I think even by Pbhead dropping a few of them, but
Yeah, I think
If
there
I
could have
remember
been a
correctly.
good use of them this game.
but still, he pulls it off. I mean, he made it work, even despite the cold fusion kind of shackling him in some ways, because we
Yeah.
know for a fact
got-
that he doesn't play with it very often, at least,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, he got it for cheap.
Yeah,
That's for
he
sure.
did.
Strangely enough,
1,000.
Cubit was actually in a really good position to take advantage of the cold fusion. Like, he was sitting right next to all that water. You know,
Yeah, he
could have
was.
easily switched over to water production at any point he wanted to. I almost think he should have gotten cold fusion.
I would have liked to see Cubit get far more aggressive in shutting down PB's water once he had it established.
Yeah, totally agreed on that. He tried. He went for the, he went for the nukes. The main thing is he should have pushed harder on that medium water auction. That was a very well timed auction by the the game engine.
Oh, definitely. That was very helpful for PB, no question. I think
he
Cubit
should
should
have
have
just
driven that so
driven
much
that
higher.
up to 50,000. I mean, I don't know. That was a key tile. You
It
know,
was a huge tile, that game. It's where all of PB's water actually was in the late
that
game.
plus slant drilling. Great
Mhm.
move. Slant drilling made made all the difference in the world for Pbhead that game.
Absolutely.
Should we invite them into the Skype call?
We can. We can talk to him if they'd like to, especially PB. Cubit says robotic was misfound. I totally agree with him.
Like literally misfound? Well, Pbhead probably doesn't mean literally. You're not going to accidentally click on robotic, I guess.
Well,
But-
no, he just says, I think robotic was misfound. So he made that decision, but he doesn't think it was the right call.
Did he found
in
first?
hindsight. I don't think so. I think... Actually, I don't remember.
Because I actually think he could have
think
made it
PB
work,
found
but
it
I
first.
think he would have used the other tile. Again, I think Scavenger was the right thing to go up north where you're in the ice surrounded by all the other resources.
Yeah, but you go scavenger every game, you can get away with it.
Yeah, I know, but I think it was the right call in this game.
Okay.
Do you disagree or not?
I think scavenger would have been okay, but nothing was really great this game in a lot of ways. I probably would have gone...
Because you're
Actually,
right by
I probably
you're
would
right
have
by
gone
that
robotic,
aluminum.
if
I know
I'm
you love your
honest,
aluminum.
but
So, like, it's, the meeting of the minds between the two of us.
if I'm
Got the
honest, I
carbon.
probably would have gone robotic. But I'm suicidal like that, though. People shouldn't play like I do. But yeah, Scavenger, I think it could have worked. It's just that nothing was really great this game, but there was so much iron, it's hard to pass up on it.
Yep.